All right. So we've managed to make it to the door of the keep. The doors are open,
Yep.
and we're about to head inside. The specters have vanished for the time being.
What do I see in there?
All right. You can go ahead and image. All right. So the door here at the bottom
Yep.
of this octagonal building is where we come in.
So here.
No, very bottom.
All right. Oh, okay. I got you now.
Yeah. So we have a corridor, very thin, that leads up to a staircase, and two doors that branch off from it.
So the staircase goes up,
Yes.
and then a bunch of doors and windows by the looks of it. And are these doors closed?
These doors are closed at the moment, so the only thing we have visual on is
Yep.
this first initial room.
All right. I think we should close the door behind us.
All right, we can close the doors behind us.
Yeah. Is there a latching mechanism on this door?
There is. It's pretty standard for keeps or any form of things to have some way of securing their doors in case of an attack.
Is it like a sliding bar thing?
Yes, essentially.
Can I remove that?
You want to remove it?
Yeah.
Uh, you can try.
Yeah.
How are you
So
going to attempt to remove it?
it's going to pick it up and set it aside so it's not
Oh,
transferred.
it's yeah, okay. You pick it up and you set it aside.
Yeah.
You realize, of course, that anyone will be able to put it back in place just as easily.
Well, not the specters.
Well, we don't know.
No. But anyway,
They clearly have a physical presence of some sort.
true. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter, right?
It's really
We
irrelevant.
prevented the door from being barred at the moment, at least.
Yeah. And I think they can just walk through walls, so I don't think they care.
They can pop in and out of existence as far as we can tell, and yes, as far as we can remember, specters tend to be incorporeal.
Yeah. All right. Let's let's examine this floor before we head anywhere else.
All right. That leaves us with two doors.
Well, let's just go to the closest door because I assume this room off to my left here is empty.
All right, so we open that door. It does creak and as we open it
Okay.
because the hinges haven't been oiled in forever.
Yep.
One other thing to note is there is debris in here, like just detritus on the floor, just like bits of wood and stone and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we were going towards which room? The closest one to the door would be this one off to the
Closest door is to the left,
yeah,
so
closest left. All right. We notice it gets the amount of debris in here is thicker and more pronounced than the other source. Probably left over whatever was in this room beforehand.
I have any idea what this stuff used to be?
You can roll an intelligence check. See if you recognize it.
Natural one. Good
No
way to get.
idea. One thing that is issue is well, there might be an issue for us is the amount of debris in here is thick enough that if we were to have to move quickly, this might constitute difficult terrain.
Yes, there's always that. But we need to investigate this, so let's move on to the next door. We'll
All right.
go clockwise through this thing.
All right. So we head towards the next door.
Yep.
All right. So we cross the room. The door creaks open.
Yep.
All right. We do notice a few other things in this room, but then just debris this time.
Yes. Kind of look like dragon statues.
That's the closest I could find. They're technically serpents.
Okay.
And if you want to be smelling more specific, cobras.
Cobra statues.
Yes, they're relatively large. Their mouths are open, and they have inset emeralds for eyes.
Okay. You don't have it prepared,
But I
but
could ritual cast detect magic if you want.
we should back off into the prior room, which has no statues.
Yes.
And then I'll stand over you while you ritual cast detect magic.
All right. I will sit down. get out my grimoire, and ritual cast detect magic inside a keep that has hostile spectres in it.
Yeah.
All right, keep watch, and I'll roll to see if anyone notices this.
All right.
So roll your perception check.
Uh, dirty 20.
All right, you are very alert, especially considering these things can come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Fortunately, this ritual spell I am casting seems to be discreet enough that they don't take notice. We don't know how sensitive they are to magic. Clearly, they could tell who is a magic user at the moment, who is not.
Yep.
But they seem to not be able to sense active spells being cast at the very least. At least not in a great proximity. None appear,
All right.
and I am able to finish my spell.
Are those well? Is the first of those cobra statues magical?
30 feet vision into the room will actually, with a cone of vision, will let me get the first two.
Okay.
They are both enchanted, and the enchantment seems to focus mainly on their eyes, I say.
Yes.
I'm going to use my action. Just says, I believe the school of magic is enchantment.
So these things might come to life. They might hmm, try to hold us. I don't know. I am going to burn my first spell slot of the day.
Yeah,
Uh,
contingency is good for that.
Yep. I am going to cast Unseen Servant.
All right, your unseen servant manifests.
I have it pick up any number of small things,
Yep.
and I'm gonna ask it to go over and bang one of them on the head with that rock.
All right, it picks up a stone and a bit of rotten wood, and in quick succession throws both of them at the statue.
Oh no, not throw. Walk over to it
Okay.
and whack it.
All right, it whacks it. The rotten piece of wood breaks.
Yeah.
The stone dings off harmlessly.
Okay.
The statue doesn't seem to care.
The next thing I want is pull out its eyeballs.
Uh, roll roll a spell casting ability check.
18.
18. The gems remain firmly fixed in the eye sockets. They're definitely inlaid in there quite well. We need something to pry it out.
I have my unseen servant come over.
Yes.
I give it one of my iron spikes that I keep.
Yep.
Never go back and see if I can pry open one of the eyeballs.
All right. Roll again.
Yeah, that was a good roll last time. This is probably not going to be as good. Nope, not as good. 12.
Yeah, it's not coming out. Your unseen servant lacks both the strength and the manual dexterity necessary for this sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of figured. Well, we have no real choice in the matter. So, can't
Well,
identify.
technically, there is another door we can go through in the other room.
Yeah, I know, but I want to see what these things are.
All right.
I'm going to tell you to stay back a bit, just in case this is horribly violent.
All right. So you want me to stay by the door?
Yep. And I
Okay.
am going to step into the room.
All right. So as you step in the room, you can move the image a bit so we can get a better look. You do notice that there is move further in the image up. There is a third statue as you notice as you enter the room,
Ah, well, I'm going to just
and there
go.
is another door.
I'm going to open the door and I'm going to approach this statue only.
You approach that statue. All right. All right. As you approach the statue, the gems it has for eyes really catch your attention, and they seem to almost be drawing your vision directly towards them.
I say, oh crap, and I avert my eyes.
All right. You did look at them, so I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. I know it was enchantment, so I knew something was going to happen.
Mhm.
And I say, "Oh crap!" as I roll this.
Yeah,
10.
that's a failure.
I will burn a point of luck.
Yeah,
Oh, that's into the 20s.
that's a success. So with that roll, you have absolutely no idea what the DC would be,
Yeah,
but you feel this hypnotic pull from the emerald eyes of this serpent-like statue as it tries to draw you in and with its with its bewitching magic. But you're able to resist through your years of mental discipline and experience.
and luck.
Yeah.
uh,
You guys can roll an Arcana check here.
yeah, what was that trying to do to me? I have no idea.
Well, despite the fact that I have detect magic going,
Yeah,
what did you roll?
10. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 10.
10. All right, I have a 13. So I think that was relatively similar to what an effect similar to that of the hypnotic pattern spell, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
So basically,
I,
as far as you know, the hypnotic pattern spell draws someone's attention, basically causes them to stare at something and ignore everything else.
okay. Considering the fact that this reminds me of an episode of Stargate, and I don't want to stand here for hours and hours and hours doing nothing,
Mhm.
I'm going to take out my pearl.
Mhm.
And I'm going to ritual cast Identify on this.
All right. Technically, you can do that without looking at the statue.
Yes.
So you're going to do that without that. All right. So it's my turn to keep watch. Obviously, my detect magic will run its course before that ends.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if anyone shows up this time.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. I don't want to spend that much time doing this. I just remembered something.
What?
I have a scroll of Identify, I think.
All right.
I think I do. Yep.
All right. So you're going to use the scroll instead.
I use a scroll of Identify so we don't spend,
So that
well,
takes a minute then.
instead of 11 minutes.
All right. Since that will be changing the time period drastically, I'll re-roll that roll.
Yeah.
All right. So you finish reading the scroll, you cast the spell, and you touch the statue. All right. So the statue is basically a magical device which it requires the enchanted gems to basically, yes, create a effect quite similar to the hypnotic pattern, which charms the target into looking at the statue's eyes and ignoring absolutely everything else for possibly a considerable amount of time. There is a secondary effect of the enchantment is that this statue creates an effect relatively similar to a silent alarm spell, alerting anyone that when it succeeds
Uh,
doing so. So basically, it's meant to hold you in place and probably alert those specters that they've caught something and they probably
or
come and
something
make
else
some
in this
attacks
tower.
at advantage.
Or something else in this tower.
Yes. And speaking of those specters,
Yep.
because I said, Jonas, we have some company. After the you finish your spell, I look over there and direct you into the room further. Three of those specters appear. Like I said, they seem to like groups of three. And I'm at the doorway. You're over by the statue, and they're about in the middle of the room.
Okay.
And once again, they move to attack us.
All right.
Well, my initiative is nowhere near as good as it was before.
How many hit points are you down?
9 at this point.
All right. Ah, It's better than mine, I can guarantee that.
What's yours?
Natural one.
All right then.
That's not good.
They seem to have caught you by surprise.
It would
Well,
seem so. What's your
not
initiative?
literally, fortunately,
Yeah,
thanks to my
your warning.
yes.
And your initiative?
My initiative is 12.
And theirs.
All right, and the hypnotic spectres, since I can call them it now, have a 5.
Wow.
So
And
ironically,
the exact same order as last time.
yeah, it's just that everything is much sadder this time.
Yeah. Well, going last with a 1 is not as bad as going last with a 17.
No, but it amounts to the same thing.
Yep. Best place to use up a 1 is in that sort of level.
Yeah, initiative isn't as big of a deal. All right, so top of the round. Well, now you do have your scroll of polymorph. It seems like a waste to use it immediately.
You think?
Yeah, that's what I say.
Okay.
All right, but I am going to start this off since they're a bit far away with mirror image because that came in handy.
Yeah.
I think I'll take a preparatory round
All right.
and set up my mirror image spell.
Okay.
I am also going to maneuver. The door is open, so I'm just going to maneuver behind the wall to get a bit of cover, just in case these things have any ranged attacks that we don't know about.
This is only the second time we've encountered them.
Yes. All right. Their turn. Well, they spotted both of us,
Yep.
but you are closer.
That I am.
The good news is they're more than 30 feet away this time.
Oh. Hey.
They couldn't manifest as close this time. So they move up their movement, and then they move up their movement again as their action.
Okay.
And they get in melee range, kind of like quarter circle surround you.
Sure.
There is one of them by the door, and one of them.
So I'm roughly here.
You're there. There's one a bit. There's one. No, I'm behind the corner there. Yep.
So here?
Yeah, so I'm technically out of melee range at the moment, but
Right.
by only about like 5 feet.
And then these guys are kind of...
And they're kind of like, yeah, quarter circling you. They're trying to keep you from going through the door, as far as you can tell, or moving further into the room. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean they have you surrounded.
That's fine.
They cannot attack this round, though.
Yep.
We come to you.
Well, I don't have contingency at this time.
No.
So what I'm going to do is I am going to burn both my meta magic points. And I'm
Both?
going to cast a second level spell. And I'm going to cast Mirror Image. And I have 6 images of me now.
True, you're going to twin cast mirror image. There is nothing in the spell that says that prevents you from doing that. Nor is there anything in the spell that prevents you having multiple images with this going.
Yep.
So you have 6 mirror images.
Yep.
Alright.
Let's see how quickly they go through them all.
I'm going to say for argument's sake, because without having to adjust the numbers, you still have to roll the same amount when with 6 as you have when you have 3.
Yeah, I got to roll a 4.
Yeah. Just to simplify things, because the rules don't actually cover this.
No.
But if they didn't want people doing this, they should have put it in the actual spell's description. Alright.
So,
That was a quick first round.
yeah.
So, we'll see how our spectral adversaries handle having some spectral copies of us.
Yeah.
There's 9 more combatants in the room as far as they're concerned now.
Yeah, let's see how their undead brains handle that. You're up.
Alright. Well, Unfortunately, the best thing for damaging them is still magic missile. Also, if I was to cast any area effect spell at this point, I'd hit you.
Yeah, seeing I'm surrounded.
Yeah. Alright, well, I got a third level spell slot back. Let's start with that. Third level magic missile. Just gonna go for the nearest one.
Okay.
17 points of force damage.
Hey.
Alright. Much like before, it takes the damage.
Yep.
It doesn't like it. But
long way to go.
can't take more than that.
Okay.
Their turn.
You have a whole pile of us.
Yes. They seem content to focus on you for the time being.
Okay.
Because they'd be surrounded. So, first attack with the spear. That's a 24 to hit.
I've used up my I used up my. I have a reaction still.
Yes.
So, as
Well,
I
we'll
see,
see if it's hitting an image or not.
no, as I see them trying to hit me,
Yeah.
I am going to expel a charge from my
Ring.
action,
Yeah.
and then I gain 10 temporary hit points. I have no idea where that got to.
No, it's equal to your level.
Oh, I gained 11 hit points.
Yes, it technically is 11 now.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna see if it hits an image.
All right. Yeah, you can do that. So roll.
It hits an image.
All right. Down to 5. Second spear. That's a 10. So that'll miss you or an image.
Yep.
All right. Last one's a 15.
So that will miss me.
Yeah, but it might hit an image. So roll to see if it's the image.
Yep. Oh, that was aiming for me, which is actually kind of important at this
All right,
point.
that works. It deflects off the shield, and their hypnotic saboteur ability goes to waste because they didn't hit you.
Yep.
All right. So your strategy is working for the time being. It's your turn.
All right. We need to damage these things because this is not going to hold for very long.
No, this is definitely a stalling tactic we're using at the moment.
Yep.
A good one.
So what I'm going to do...
Well, I assume it's not point blank fireball.
No, it is going to be point blank chain lightning.
Okay.
I burn my 6th level spell slot.
You do know these things are resistant to lightning.
Oh yeah, I know. But at least some of them might fail.
3 saving throws coming up. That's a natural 1.
I gets rid of the resistance.
Yeah. That's a 5. And the highest one's a 15, which I think also fails.
They all fail. That's 10. 15, 30. For this is actually rather a poor chain lightning. 36 points of damage.
5 or 6. Alright, so... Sorry, what did you say?
36 points of damage.
Alright, so it was the middle one that rolled a natural 1.
Alright.
So it takes the full 36.
And the other 2 take 18.
Yeah. Well, you knocked half its hit points off with that.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to damage them. I wanted to get some hits in there because I'm going to run out of images at some point.
Yes. We both will.
Yep.
Well, they did good damage even with their resistance. It helped that one of them rolled a natural 1.
That's a terrible chain lightning, though.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's unavoidable, I'm afraid.
That was a lot of 2s.
Yep.
All right. That's my round.
Yep. All right, top of round three. All right, I'm going to use magic missile again at third level,
Yep.
but I'm going to aim for the one that failed there. The one that rolled a natural one, sorry. The one that took the most damage. See if we can take one of these things off.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can't fail this saving throw.
Yeah.
16 points of force damage.
All right.
It's looking hurt. Now that we know how these things fight and what they are capable of, we're doing a lot more damage to them in a much shorter succession.
Well, yeah, you only hold back, for so long.
Yes. All right. We come to them. Are you going to change your tactics? Nope. They're still going to focus on you.
Yeah, all of me.
Yeah.
My shield is gone. My temporary hit
Yes,
points.
your temporary hit points remain, though.
Yeah.
20 to hit.
I still have temporary hit points, so I will see what an image.
Okay.
It's an image.
All right, then. You're down to four
of them.
now.
Yep.
Second spear attack. 11. Misses.
Misses. Misses everybody.
And that's another 20 to hit.
All right. Another image is gone. Down to 3.
You're down to 3. Burned through half of them already.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they're eating up their spear attacks, which means you don't have to worry about the hypnotic saboteur ability.
Yeah, I don't want my brain sucked dry.
Yeah. Yeah. As I imagine you have enough bad experiences with these creatures.
Yeah. Another life in another game, but yeah.
All right, with that, we come back to you.
All right. Got 2 of them are fairly damaged now. Well, I see no reason not to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna burn one of my 5th level spell slots.
All right. Why do I get this distinct feeling that you're going to be punching them again?
No! If I do that, I will be...
Always it's the same thinking Bigby's hand.
Oh, Big Goose Hand, no. It does force damage, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
So they're not resistant at all to that, even
Nope.
though...
They've been taking the full damage from Magic Missile.
Oh. Yeah, I'll do that instead.
All right, what were you thinking of doing?
5th level Magic Missile.
Oh, that works, yeah.
No, I'll do the Big Goose Hand.
All right, you cast Bigby's hand.
And I punch one of them. Doesn't matter. They're fairly well set. I'll go
One of
with
them is taking a lot of damage.
yeah, one's taking more than the others. So
All right, so melee spell attack with the hand.
oh, that might miss. Yeah. Sorry, I have to look up what my pluses to hit are with this. It is. Oh, is this my melee spell?
It's your spell. It's your
That's why I didn't write it down.
yeah.
So plus 10.
Make a melee spell attack. So you're using. I assume you're doing the clenched fist to punch it.
Yeah, so that's 17 to hit
That hits.
for 4d8 damage.
Close, but it hits.
$13 points of damage to it.
All right. It doesn't like that, but it was a low enough roll for it to survive.
Yep.
Well, at least you have that up for a while now.
Yeah.
Now, does Tobias want out again?
Yeah, and it's just a bonus action from now on.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's a powerful spell. Top of round 4. All right. I'm going to say, I think it's a good idea to try and finish that one off.
Okay.
All right, I am going out of melee range, so I'm going to attempt to hit it with Ray of Frost.
Okay.
It's a 21 to hit.
That'll do it.
Yep. All right, 3d8 cold. 12. Wow. Considering this damage is halved, that's just over its hit points currently.
Hey, we got rid of one.
Yeah, but it was close.
Yeah.
I rolled 12 damage, which halves to 6, and it had 5 hit points left.
Wow.
But we take one out. We hear that spectral cry again and the clatter of metal as it vanishes. It echoes a bit more in here, you notice. The walls are closer in.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about this attracting somebody.
It's entirely possible.
Yep.
But that's my turn. One down, I say. All right. This is fine so far, I say.
Yep.
Again, for my cover behind the wall.
Yeah. I'm doing good back here.
Hey, I know what these things are like. Yeah. All right. You lost one. Now it's going to be changing its tactics.
All right.
I love changing tactics. All right. One of them, the one that is currently between you and the door,
Yep.
is still staying to move to you. The other one is going to move into melee with me, which you can do. But that's to leave your melee to do that.
I'm not wasting my reaction on that.
All right. So it doesn't get attack. Doesn't get attack opportunity. All right. So the one on you
Yep.
rolls a 24 to hit.
Well, I still have 3 images.
Yep. And your temporary hit points.
And my temporary hit points. All right, I'm down to 2 images.
All right. And the other one is going to attack me now.
Yep. Wow, mirror image is really paying
Natural 20.
for it. Natural 20.
All right. The mirror image is the only thing that can keep me from getting hit by this.
Yeah.
4, exactly. By the skin of my illusory teeth.
Yeah.
But hey, it worked.
Yep.
That's a nice natural 20 that went to miss. Fortunately, it doesn't affect the second ability at all.
No.
Only a natural 1 on my saving throw would. Well, I imagine if they could get angrier than they already are being evil spirits, they would be being annoyed by this.
Yes, it would be very frustrating for them.
Yes. Your turn.
Bonus action. Punch.
Yep, you can start with that if you want.
27 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Oh, that's a pair of ones. 13 points of damage.
All right. This one is taking damage before, well, including my initial magic missile. It's showing some definite signs of wear and tear by now.
Alright, so now I can still use my action.
Yes. The only thing to keep in mind is it's in melee with you.
So now I will... I've not used any 3rd level spell slots yet, so I'll use one now, and I will magic missile it.
All right, 3rd level magic missile.
For 18 points of damage.
All right. All the darts shoot through it, and its form flickers, but just is able to hold itself together, just barely.
Oh well.
Oh well. All right, top of round 5. I am now, unfortunately, in melee with one of these things. But I noticed the one that you're fighting is almost dead.
Yep.
Yeah, I would do this. All right. I'm going to hit it with Frostbite to see if I can finish it off. I would hit it with Ray of Frost, but I have disadvantage to hit it.
Yeah.
That's a 17. That just fails.
That was a close one.
Well, once again, halves to 6, which once again is just enough.
Down to one.
Down to one, which is on me. Yeah, another one freezes and then shatters to the ground, which is very odd image because it doesn't have any corporeal form.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that echoes through the halls.
Yeah. I always get the feeling this is just a warm up for something.
Well, at the moment, nothing else seems to be coming.
No.
All right. Now we come to the remaining hypnotic specter who's going to attack me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 21 to hit. Again, shield isn't going to help
You only have two
because,
images now.
because that is literally my armor class
Yeah.
with shield at the moment. 6, which is that's how many times is that now? I rolled exactly what I need.
It's been at least 2 4s and 1 6, so yeah, at least 3 times.
All right, down to one image.
All right. Bonus action, punch in the head.
Yep,
Is it 16 hit?
16 just hits.
Ooh. Oh, that's better. 20 points of damage to it.
Yep, and as we've seen before, force damage does everything to them.
Yep. And then let's throw another 3rd level magic missile at it.
All right,
Oh, 3 1s. That's annoying.
there's no way of rerolling that.
Hmm?
A shame there's no way of rerolling that.
Yeah. 8. 13 points of damage.
All right. Yes, with our knowledge of fighting them previously, we're making much shorter work of these ones. But it's still standing.
Yeah.
Top of round 6. Yep, alright. Magic missile. Let's see if we can bring this thing down.
Well, that's a lot of hit points.
Yes, and I am running a little low on spell slots. Right. 9 points of force damage. That was really low,
Oh, yeah.
even for first level. But it's taking damage,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna trust on my remaining mirror image to keep me safe. Alright, it being an undead creature, it has no morale to worry about.
Nope.
No. A 15 misses.
Hey.
Oh, actually, wait, it misses me.
Doesn't miss an image, though.
No. It was a natural one on the image roll anyway, so. It's interesting how that sometimes works out in our favor.
So you're down no images now.
I have one image remaining, and I wasn't hit.
I thought you rolled a natural 1 on the image.
Yeah, so it was going for me.
Oh, right. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, I gotcha.
This thing looks like it's about ready to fall apart.
Well, it's getting punched by Big Beast Fist.
Yep, why not? Go for the free thing.
Ah. 10 points of damage. That's sad.
It is just barely holding it, keeping itself together.
Well, seeing how you reminded me of this earlier, it's been hanging around in my inventory forever.
Oh, okay.
At some point in time in the distant past, we acquired a scroll of magic missile, which is
Yes.
first level.
He also has his wand you could just blast it with too, but
Yeah, I know, but anyway. Scroll of magic missile for 3 darts. That will be 10 points of damage.
which is overkill at this point.
Uh,
Alright, we bring it down. And for the third, and we don't know if it's the final time, it vanishes into the ever after, and its echoing cry echoes through the halls.
All right. Gonna step out of this room for a moment.
Yeah. Our mirror images vanish.
Yes, all our protective spells are now gone. I still keep my 11 temporary hit points.
Yes. And I still have my mage armor.
And I am going to listen.
Roll a perception check with my assistance.
Hmm, where did that die go? Oh, there it is. That would be a 21.
21. And as the saying goes, these halls are as silent as the grave.
So with all of that, nothing came to see what was going on.
Nothing seems to be appearing at this point. We don't know if there are any more of those things.
Yeah,
We
well,
knew there was at least one more group we saw.
we have a reasonable strategy for this now.
Okay. Yeah, it seems to be a mirror image.
Mirror image and force damage.
Yes. Technically, we know radiant would work too. But
Don't have Dawn prepared, unfortunately.
yeah, trust me. If you had Dawn prepared, this would be a much easier fight.
Yeah. All right. I think we should continue exploring, but
All right.
when I was doing the examining of these statues,
Yes, we also identified them.
I identified them. Do I think those gems are removable?
Yes, they would technically be removable. Nothing in your spell would tell you that. But they can definitely be pried off. The problem is to do that, you kind of have to
See what I'm doing.
yeah. The good news is for your identify spell, you know they need both gems in the statue's eyes to function.
Are the gems the magic part, or is a statue the magic part?
Technically, both. It's all part of it. The gems are themselves not enchanted, but they are of a sufficient quality to function for this purpose in the creation of this enchanted object.
All right.
So they would probably be fairly high quality emeralds.
For the moment, we'll leave that as is.
Yeah.
And I want to. All right. I'm going to ignore the rest of this floor. I know that may sound strange, but there's an awful lot of these statues. I know I don't technically know that yet, but I know there's three in this room,
Yes.
and I don't really want to activate them all. Go back and let's go up the stairs.
Yeah. And technically speaking, we do not know exactly what all if all of them work the same way. You only identified one.
True, but going on that knowledge, I do not want to make that many saving throws with possible who knows what here.
Yeah. I mean, again, everyone can see into the full image that there are 8 of these things.
Yeah,
And technically you've only succeeded on one.
yeah. So let's make sure there aren't any other hazards before we try and steal all these gems.
All right, so we go up the staircase.
Stealthily, please.
Stealthily. All right, roll your stealth check.
That is terrible.
I have a 22.
I have an 11.
All right. Do you want to use luck?
No.
All right. So that still averages out to above passive.
Well, mine's about passive.
Not necessarily,
True.
but between the two of us as a group stealth check, that's above passive.
Yeah, about a 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Up we go.
Up we go. All right. At the top of the sets of these stairs, there isn't an image for this, but there is a set of double doors.
Okay. I will investigate the doors.
All right.
Looking for the usual stuff. Um, 25.
25. All right. The door is not trapped. You're certain of that. It is locked.
I will attempt to unlock the door.
All right. This will be dexterity sleight of hand, which I don't think you have, but you do have some picks.
Yes. Ugh, I don't think a seven's going to do it.
No.
Hmm. There are ways of doing this.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't have knock prepared, so that's not one of them.
Did you remake a knock scroll? I thought we had one at one time.
I did have one at one time, but I don't think I've gotten around to remaking that. I probably should.
All right, so you don't have a knock scroll?
No. That leaves us with realistically two options. One, your alchemical magic, or two, just breaking the door down.
Yeah, well, we're not exactly, brawny.
Yeah, but you can be if you need to be.
Yeah, I could polymorph. I could Digby's hand.
Yeah, we could summon, take a minute and summon an earth elemental.
Yeah.
We have options for that.
Yes. Well, what I'm gonna do for the moment is examine the lock. What metal is it made out of?
Iron, rusty iron.
I will make it into rotten wood instead then.
All right.
10
Make
minutes.
all right, as you take your 10 minutes and you put your hand there to transmute it, make a spellcasting ability check as you feel some sinister will attempting to prevent you from doing this.
Really?
Yep.
14?
Yeah, well, it beats the five. So you do, for the first time in your ever experience, feel something attempting to prevent you from doing this, but you succeed. Your will is stronger than its.
Do I think it is an enchantment that's on this lock or something else?
Roll an Arcana check.
Um, 17?
It was definitely something else trying to prevent you from transmuting this. You cannot transmute enchanted metal.
And I whisper to you, now that this is wood,
Yeah.
someone didn't want me to do that.
Yes. Someone or something was trying to pit its will against yours to prevent that from happening.
Is there a 1 inch hole in
The,
this
the
lock?
hole is probably about an inch. And
Uh,
yes, it's there's a seam underneath. Do you want me to cast Arcane Eye into the room?
might be a good idea
There, is it?
if you don't want. I mean, if you
All right,
don't
I'll
want,
do that. Yep. That was a low roll. I was going to have something to add onto that, but that is too low roll for me to add that. I cast Arcane Eye into the room using my last fourth level spell slot.
yeah, I know. That's the other thing I was thinking of.
Yeah. All right. And you can move ahead in image because we're going to see what's inside here. All right. So this is the door we're at. So the eye appears in there.
And there's a bunch of statues and a throne by the looks of it.
Yeah, those are not statues. Those are suits of armor. And there is a throne, which is vacant for the time being. And you can have the eye go forward. There's a red carpet there. If you go a bit further into the room,
Sorry.
okay, there is another door
Oh, okay.
up the side of the throne. So it seems there is another way out from here. And
All
this is
right.
what we see.
This is a round tower.
Yes.
Does this round room, from my memory of what the outside of the tower looks like, encompass the entire diameter of the tower?
The second floor. Roll an intelligence check.
18.
Yes, it does.
Now, where in the world does that door go?
We do not know.
All right.
Well, I say I don't see any, but then again, my arcane eye will not see into the ethereal plane.
True. Well, we got a wooden lock.
Yep, a rotten wooden lock, so we can definitely break it now.
Break the door open.
All right, using your enchanted dagger, you break the lock, and the doors force the door open.
Yep.
All right, are we going to enter the room?
Nope. I have seen so many animated armors in my short career as a wandering wizard.
Yep.
Do these fit the picture?
Roll another Arcana check.
Oh, that's really low. 11.
Right. They're suits of plate mail. Animated armors tend to be suits of plate mail. They're not moving at the moment, though.
There's a malevolent will, or a will that was trying to resist me. I was going to assume it's malevolent.
I
Could be
said
the.
it was sinister.
Yeah.
I don't know how sinister and malevolent compare to one another.
From our perspective, close enough.
Yes.
Nice. Well, we see the room.
Yes. I see it from two different perspectives. I can have my arcane eye move around if you really want me to.
Um, is there a gap in that door sufficient for your arcane eye to continue into the next room?
All right.
Wherever it may be.
I go over to the next. I have my arcane eye move over. It takes a few moments.
Yeah.
And I say, no. In fact, there doesn't seem to be a seam to that door.
False door. Well, if we weren't brave of heart, we wouldn't be out here.
Mhm.
I'm going to step into the room.
Yeah.
I am going to have you hold that door open. And I'm going up to this statue here.
Again, it's not a statue.
Hmm? Oh, yeah, sorry. This suit of armor, and I'm going to kick it in the shin.
All right. Make your attack roll with
Ah!
unarmed strike.
Hoo-ha! That's a 2.
You kick
Oh,
it. Your foot throbs a little bit afterwards.
yeah, I'm just trying to get its attention.
All right. Nothing seems to happen.
Nothing else seems to be happening either, right?
Not at the moment, no.
I'm just going to put my hand on it and push it over.
All right. Make a strength check.
Ah! Oh, that's not bad. 14.
It tumbles over and clatters to the floor and makes a loud noise, and several parts of it fall off. You also notice that this this suit of armor
Yeah,
is carrying a spear, very similar to the one that the specters are fighting with.
but it fell apart.
It fell to the ground, empty, yes. In fact, looking around, the other seven also have that same spear.
We've only fought 6 of those things.
Yes.
All right, listening.
Mhm.
No one seems to give a crap.
In response to that, as you're looking around the room, you hear a sound and you look over the throne. A figure has manifested and is sitting in it.
All right, the 7th specter.
This one looks a little different than the other six we've encountered.
Okay.
Its armor is more ornate, and it seems to be taller. And its helmet seems to, again, have be slightly finer of make.
All right.
It doesn't say anything, but somehow wordlessly, it
Yep.
seems to it seems to convey to you that you are intruding here and that the crime for intrusion will be your life.
No, we've been harassed and intimidated and attacked by much bigger and crazier things than you.
It stands up. It holds out its hand in a spear, larger and more ornate than the one the other ones have. Apparently, it bangs it on the stone floor. Manifesting out of the two nearest suits of armor are two more specters.
Ah, there they are.
Yeah, with their spears.
Good thing we fought those 6 first.
Yes. And we should roll for initiative once more.
All right, so there's 2 specters now and one big guy.
Yes. Yes, and he has a natural 20.
Ah, of course he does. Ugh, this is not a 1. I have a 6. Oh, yeah. I have a 7. Apparently, I can't do 5 plus 2.
All right. The Hypnotic Spectres and myself rolled the exact same initiative.
Rolling off.
Yep.
I'll roll theirs. 15.
All right, so that beats my 3.
All right. So, what was your original numbers, though?
17.
17. They're going before your 17, and I'm stinking last again.
3 times in a row, 1 session.
I know. Usually I'm before you. And we're both last this time.
Yeah, that may not be the best.
No.
Also, you are technically in front of me.
Yep. Here in the doorway. I just pushed over that first set of armor.
All right, so top of the first round of combat. Natural 20, we have the Spectral Captain.
Yep.
Who is going to vanish from where he's stood there at his throne
And teleport, I assume.
and reappear right beside you.
Joy.
All right. Takes his spear with both hands and attempts to run you through with it.
Oh, yeah. Fun, fun, fun.
All right. That is a 16 to hit.
I will trigger my ring.
Right, which technically resets the temporary hit points you have.
Yep.
Right. So you block it with the shield spell.
Yep.
Which means the grasp with his spectral saboteur ability goes to waste.
All right.
The remaining 2 hypnotic specters cannot teleport.
They have to walk.
They'll float.
Yeah.
Which means they have to float over and use their action. They do position themselves that they are in melee with both of us.
Okay. So this room is not 60 feet across, then?
The entire room is probably about 80 feet across, but they weren't at the far end of the room. They're at the 2 suits of armor. So they're able to make it there. That's their turn. Alright, we come to me. So, well! This worked quite well last time.
Yeah.
Is what my thought is. As I cast Mirror Image again.
Yeah, again, there's 3 of them.
Yes, that seems to be how they like to operate.
We've blown a lot of spells.
Yes. And the big guy seems to be a bit stronger, as we can tell.
Yes.
I can teleport.
I can teleport, yeah.
That's my action. Now, I still technically have an Arcane Eye going.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Digby's hand was the most effective thing last time.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a good spell, but I would be vulnerable.
You do technically have your temporary hit points from your ring.
True, but I don't want my brain sucked out. Alright, Bigby's hand it is.
Alright, you cast Bigby's Hand, which is your second and
My
final.
last 5th level spell slot.
Yeah.
And wah! A natural 1 to hit the bugger.
Which one were you aiming for at?
I am going to re-roll that because that's just too irritating to say anything else about.
Alright, which one are you attacking?
Mr. Captain.
Alright, you're attacking the Spectral Captain.
$16 to hit him.
Yeah, that hits. The armor class is 16.
I was worried there for a second because I thought maybe his armor class is going to be better than that.
Nope, they seem to both be wearing the same spectral chainmail.
Oh, much better. For 27 points of damage.
All right, that's a very good hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. Much like the other ones, force damage is very efficacious on him.
Yep.
And I think that's your entire round.
Unfortunately, it is.
Unfortunately, these things seem to be really, really good at getting into melee with us and staying there.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of gust of wind, but I can't imagine that doing anything to something spectral.
You have no idea.
I know.
All right. Didn't like that, so it's going to attack you. 15 to hit.
I don't want to be hit.
Using your ring again?
Charge number 3.
Yeah, so you have...
2 more charges.
Yeah. All right. And it resets your temporary hit points, which you haven't used yet.
Yeah.
All right. We come to the hypnotic specters now. Yeah, it's really annoying the fact that annoying. This one's a bit more self-aware than the other two,
Yeah.
than the others, and you can feel its hatred growing.
Well, make rude gestures at him, I guess.
Yeah.
I think he's going to attack me anyway. I've already hurt him, so.
All right. The other two. One is definitely going to attack me, but there's a third one.
Yeah.
Who was also going to attack me, and that was a natural 20 that's going to go to waste. So these two are on me. Yeah, a 23 will hit. Mirror image, 16. Finally rolling high on that.
Yeah.
And another 23 to hit.
Images are going through here.
7. Yeah, that's 2 images gone in 1 round.
Yeah.
Said, I'm less confident in this strategy this time round.
Well, it's still a strategy.
Yes. There's only 1 image left.
Yeah, I know. The roll has to be much higher now.
Yes. What is the roll again? I can't quite remember.
It's above 10, 11 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I can bring up. Hang on, I'm gonna bring up my spell book here just to take a look at it. Yep. It is 11 I have to roll above.
Alright. We need to roll a 12.
Yes. Well, no, I need to roll an 11 or higher.
Oh, okay.
Alright, my turn.
Yep.
The downside is, on the offensive side of things, I'm much more limited here. So, I'm going to hit the big spirit with a high level magic missile, because it's the best I can pull together at this point with the spell slots we have left. Alright. Plus 7 is 24 points of damage.
Ooh, good one.
Could have been better. Alright. It's taken quite a fair bit of damage in a short period of time from all the force magic we're throwing at it, but he's definitely hardier than the regular specters.
Punch him in the head.
Yep.
Uh-oh. 14's gonna miss, I bet.
14 will miss. Do you want to use your luck point? Luck?
Last point of luck. Hate doing that. Oh, that's into the 20s, though.
That will hit.
22 points of force damage.
Yeah, he's in a lot of pain.
I'm gonna dump the wand of magic missiles into him.
So 6 charges, I assume?
Yep.
All right.
And for 26 points of damage.
Oh, oh, so close.
Ah, seriously?
Yeah, I'll let you. It will give you a peek behind the curtain. He had 27 hit points left.
No, not one hit point off.
Yep.
5, 10. Yeah, I did the math right.
Yeah, but we've done in 2 rounds. We've done 99 points of damage to him.
Wow. Yeah, 26. Counted it 3 times.
Unfortunate. And yeah, there's no question who he's attacking now.
Yeah. Doing all the damage and the rude gestures.
Yeah, I've hit him with 1 magic missile. 20 to hit.
Yeah, nothing I can do about that.
All right. So,
I'm out of luck, so I can't have him re-roll.
up 2-handed spear. All right, so that's 15 plus 3. You take 18 points of piercing damage,
So that's
which
only
your 11 temporary hit points absorb some of.
Okay.
And then you're down to 103. And then he grabs you and brings you right up to him.
Saving throw.
Yeah. It's intelligence.
It's 19 plus a bunch.
Yeah, his
Plus
DC's
block.
higher, but it's not that high.
Yeah, it's 27 is my saving throw.
They're going to take half this damage, which is 7d4 for those who are curious.
It's a fair amount.
Yeah. It was a low roll, 13 halved to 6.
And down 16 hit points.
And you don't have to worry about having one of your spell slots stolen away.
No, fortunately, I've used an awful lot of them anyway.
Alright, we come to the spectral cap. Spectres.
Concentration check
Yes.
for Bigby's hand.
Yes.
More than enough.
Okay. Alright, Hypnotic Spectre's turn.
I get plus 10 on that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just going to. So the third one is going to attack you this turn.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one on you will say 26 to hit.
I'm gonna use my ring.
To gain the temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Alright, so 7 of them are eaten up by the spear.
Okay.
Another intelligence saving throw.
I already blew a 19, so let's see what this one's gonna be. 26.
You're taking more from this one, which is somehow sad. 7 more points of psychic damage.
So 3 of that is absorbed, so I take 4.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, like I said, their attacks individually don't do a lot.
I am going to punch that one.
It's my turn first.
Oh, sorry. That's right. I forgot. I'm used to you being ahead of me this day.
Yeah. Alright. I am going to frostbite the spectral captain.
Alright.
Because it's almost dead. Natural 20.
Now it's my turn.
Now it's your turn.
I am going to punch the one, just the regular hippie.
Okay, so you're not attacking the captain,
Oh, I will be,
but
but
not with. Okay,
I'm not wasting a Bigby's hand on him.
rolled it.
Um, Somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah, that hits.
48 on this guy. This thing's done damage though, right?
The other two have not been damaged. We've been focusing solely on the captain.
For 18 points of damage.
All right, it takes the damage.
And I magic missile the captain. First level.
First level magic missile. Do you want to roll?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, that finishes him off.
Hey.
All right.
I don't know if that's going to change anything here.
All right. As he dies, as opposed to just fading, he erupts in this spectral energy that bursts out of him.
Uh-oh.
And okay. Wow, they both failed the saving throw.
Do we have...
As the energy blasts outwards, it passes through us harmlessly. It feels weird,
Man.
but it tears the two remaining specters apart.
They're literally apart?
Yes,
I mean, we just dropped out of combat.
there is nothing, no longer any combatants here.
Wow.
We feel that sinister presence begin to fade. He seemed to have been the anchor for all this.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a chance that they would be able to hold their forms together for a short period of time if they managed to save,
Yeah.
which they did not.
All right.
So yeah, you can thank the fact that they rolled both under the saving throw.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, well, technically it was the same. I can tell you the DC wasn't 10, but they both rolled under 10.
Yeah. All right.
So we're out of combat.
Hopefully out of combatants. Hopefully we'll like...
Well, I kind of gave a visual clue.
Yeah. So we've dealt with all of them.
Yes. In fact, there's a nice touch. The remaining 7 suits of armor fall over, which is just something I just came up with now, but I think it's a nice visual.
Yeah. All right. Let's go examine that door that doesn't necessarily
Yes,
go.
because we're still technically trapped in here for the time being. Well, no, we can go back out the way we came, but
We don't have anywhere else
to
to go.
go.
This prototype came from somewhere.
Yes.
All right. Go to that door.
All right. It is a door
Without any seams, apparently.
without a seam. It's very odd.
I'm going to examine this door.
Okay. Yes, and it does seem to be floored to the ceiling, an entire archway.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. All right, it's made of stone.
Yep.
And if you look down, it's pretty clear that the stone is meant to slide out of the way somehow. Yes, there's no. It's basically like almost like something that's going to slide apart or something. But it has no knob or anything. Clearly, this door is, well, not. It may have been secret at one point. Is not at the moment, but we need some way of operating it. Which is not on the door itself.
Yes. Examine the throne.
That does seem like a logical point. All right, let's go investigate that.
Can't run off that nat 20.
You rolled a natural 20. Yes, that's fine.
Well, yeah, and it's going to be a dirty 20 for examining it otherwise. So,
The DC was 20, so it's fine.
all right.
All right. There are a number of basically of carvings on this throne.
Yeah.
One of them, you notice, is in the shape of a cobra, rather similar to the ones that we saw downstairs statues of.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a switch, basically.
Yeah.
You press it, and the door slides apart into the wall.
Okay. What's on the other side of this door that should be leading to the outside of the tower?
Seems to be a passageway.
leading
It
into a cliff face, I assume.
is logically that's where it should lead. It looks like it's opening up into empty air. I still have my arcane eye, I say.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
You want me to send it in?
yeah,
All right, my arcane eye, send it in, and I'm going to roll a perception check. Said, okay, that's interesting. If there's a passageway that does indeed lead into the cliff face.
okay.
It is made of some sort of transparent material, like glass almost, like perfect glass that is. It's almost like a one-way looking glass in a way, like one-way mirror.
Yeah,
We can see outwards, but it doesn't reflect it. It's like it doesn't exist from the outside almost visibly.
cool.
Yeah. I'm just going to roll an arcana. Yeah, I have no idea what this is made out of. You can roll an arcana check if you want.
Uh, 20.
It's not good enough, I'm afraid.
Hmm.
We don't know, even with your alchemical knowledge, neither of us is entirely sure what material is made out of. But it looks like it proceeds onward, and it's basically the perfect way of concealing a passage, a way that seems to probably go into that cliff face.
Are there footprints?
Roll a perception check.
15?
There's very faint dust for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
You suspect that, yes, somehow the prototype made it through here.
And
Was presumably allowed through that door,
then got in his room and then just ran for its life.
and then probably tried to fight and then failed and then got away, as far as we can tell.
Well, the prowess of this prototype is going up in my estimates.
Yes.
All right. Well, I do not want to leave that many gems stuck there doing nothing.
Right.
So we'll go back down into here. There
Yes.
are no longer anybody here to worry about that we can.
No. As far as we know, these statues will still be enchanted, though.
Yes. I'm going to go up to the first one because I know what the enchantment is on that one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave you with the instructions of don't look at the gems, but if I get mesmerized, pull me out of the room, please.
Yep.
And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pry the gems out of its eyes.
All right. To speed this up a little bit, because otherwise it will be repetitive,
Yeah.
I would like you to roll your saving throw.
What am I saving? Which one? Wisdom?
That's wisdom.
So that's 16.
Yeah, that succeeds. And now let's roll well, basically, it'll probably end up being a dexterity check to pry the gems loose. Let's see how long this takes. Like I said, there's no rush at this point.
No. Oh, that's a 21.
Very quick. If you rolled under 10, I probably would have you roll another saving throw at some point. But with that saving throw, which is decent, and that very high roll for dexterity, in a matter of minutes, we go around and we're able to pry loose the emeralds.
That is
There should be
one,
eight in
two, three,
total.
four, 5, 6, 7,
Eight.
8, 16 emeralds.
16 emeralds, each worth uh, 500 gold pieces worth.
Ah, our last two
They're
sessions,
high. Sorry?
our last two sessions have certainly increased our wealth.
Yeah. Yeah. So 10 500 gold piece value gems now. We found two last. We found four last time.
Okay.
All right,
Back up the stairs.
up the stairs, and I assume we're going to go through that invisible passageway.
Go through the invisible passageway and into, I assume, a corridor of
Into a
action.
corridor, which does indeed lead into a, again, very well hidden passageway in the cliff face.
Yep. Um,
And that is where we will call it for tonight.
all right. Even before we set up camp.
Yes,
All right.
that seems like a good place to stop.
Okay, cool. Let's do so.
Yes. So, I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. And please join us here again next time as we continue our adventures in the underworld and we continue exploring, following the path of this incredibly fortunate prototype whose luck apparently eventually ran out.
Yeah.
In the meantime, thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please join us here again next time as we continue our adventures.
Night all.
Good night, everyone.